Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, the Nigeria Police Force has denied allegations by Amnesty International in its recent report titled Bloody August, Nigeria Government's Violent Crackdown on #EndBadGovernance protests, which claimed that approximately 24 persons were killed by the police across 6 northern states of the country. Now, the force public relations officer, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, while responding to the allegations, says that the Inspector General of Police had initially ordered a comprehensive and independent investigation into the claims, but found out that the allegations by Amnesty International are false and misleading. He says that the 3 deaths in Borno State, which Amnesty International had attributed to police actions, were actually caused by an explosion which was unrelated to the protests.
Claimed on pages 22 and 25 of its report that these 3 individuals died when a hand grenade was thrown into the filling station by a convoy of police vehicles. These allegations are not only false and misleading, but are also a clear attempt to incite the general public against the police and tarnish the image of the Nigerian police force in the eyes of the international community. Reputable sources in Suleja and Tafa areas confirmed that nobody was killed by the police in Niger State on 1st August 2024. It is instructive to note that Amnesty International's claim was based solely on an unverified and disputed report published in Premium Times on 18th August 2024, titled How Police Killed.
We're now being joined by attorney at law, Tunji Abdulhameed from Ilorin. Hello, Tunji. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening.
Good evening. Now, Tunji, Amnesty's report is out, but the police isn't having any of it. How do you avoid a case where it is the word of the police against that of Amnesty International? Just go ahead and share with us.
I am not surprised that the police is denying the reports. I am not surprised at all, and I wasn't expecting them to admit what Amnesty International said. You see, when you see the way and manner police operate in Nigeria, you see that impunity of lack of regard for rule of law, lack of regard for sympathy, human sympathy, lack of regard for fellow human beings. They treat Nigerians like an enemy of the police, so to say. Because sometimes, especially when it has to do with issues that has to do with government, they see them as protecting those in government alone, and not people who have the right to also protest and ask questions from the government. So for me, I am not surprised that the police is denying that report. But the reality on ground and the daily affair that we see, the engagement of the police does not say so, supports the report of the Amnesty. I cannot also admit or whether or not the end bad governance, there are deaths or not, but I know there are forceful use of force by the police at that time. They even use tear gas. We can see them on TV. I saw, particularly in Abuja, I saw one in Abuja when they gathered at the what's it called, in front of the stadium, and they came and then they dispatched them with tear gas. And in some other areas like that, there are so many of such attack by the police on the ordinary citizens that are not carrying any harm. I tend to believe the report of the Amnesty International as against that of the police.
Amnesty said that 24 persons were killed across, 6 northern states. And, whether they were that number was killed or not, many would actually agree that it was indeed a bloody August. Now, do you think that, 24 is too high a figure, or is it that no one at all was killed during the protests?
We cannot categorically confirm that, but having regard to the report of Amnesty, I think if Amnesty International is saying so, they must have their own report and they must have the evidence. I don't believe that they will come and lie to us that people died when nobody died. You recall, this is the way manner the police denying what happened at the toll gates in 2019 or so. And at the end of the day, the report or the investigative report set up by the governor said otherwise. But they were asking people to bring out the corpses of those who are dead. How do you get that to confirm that what you are saying is true? But for me, I may not be able to sit here and confirm that there are dead or there are no deaths. But those who gave the report will not just on their own bring up a report that they cannot justify it. And like I said, I tend to believe the report of Amnesty International than that of the disclaimer by the police.
All right, now I would love for you to share your thoughts because, if Nigerians are not dying, from terrorist attacks, they're either dying during protests or even, of recent food stampedes across Nigeria. So what exactly is the way out?
The easy way out is for people to allow the security agencies to work in line with the rule of law, not to see themselves as above the law. Because what I notice in Nigeria is that most people in our security agencies see themselves as above the law. They have their own way of operation. They disregard the rule of law and they want to do whatever they want to do. If you see any protest that turns into violence, police are involved. When police are not involved, there won't be violence. It's when police said and that's why you see most of the police that has to do with pro-government. You don't see any report of anybody being chased or any charge that's being used against anybody, because those are pro-government, and in that the police should not be involved in trying to force them to do away with the protest. So it is whenever the police are interested in saying, look, no protest, that's when you see that those results or complaint of use of tear gas or other weapon will be on here. So for me, the way they operate is they need to be professional in their job. When you call yourself police, you are not there for the purpose of those in government. You are not to protect those in authority. But that's why it tends to appear in our country. The police see themselves as protectors of those in government, not those ordinary citizens of Nigeria, and they don't respect the right of the citizens of Nigeria, especially when they are asking for their right under the guarantee by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The right to protest is guaranteed by the Constitution, and everybody has the right to even ask questions and against the government. But when that happens, that's when you see the police issuing ultimatum or order, asking people or directing people not to come out for any protest or do any of that. And whenever they do, you hear issue of people being tear gas or people being this. So for me, what they need to do is to change the way of operation. In other words, they need to obey the rule of law, do things in line with the law, allow people to hear the freedom of expression. Allow them, as long as they are doing it peacefully, there should not be any attack or anybody. But that's not the case in Nigeria. They don't even want it to happen. They don't want anybody to go against, to ask questions against the government, to even come out and say, look, we are expressing our grievances or we are expressing our displeasure against the government policies. They don't want that. Because they want to play to the gallery, and they want to serve those in government and those in authority so as to get their own promotion or accolades.
Democracy is all about. Right. Well, thank you so much, Tunji, for your time and also for speaking to us on this.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be with you. Thank you.